totally not what I wanted. I normally go just short, petite, blonde or brunette. Like Katie's, yeah, nothing what normally I'd go for.
I really had to stop a couple of times because my blood was boiling. I really was furious because it reminded me of Emma and Casper from Married at First Sight UK last season, in the sense that you have this man who's a 5 or a 6, if you squint your eyes, asking for a 10. And it's like, buddy, you couldn't find a 10 in the real world. So what makes you think you're going to find a 10 on Mavs? Make that make sense? I'm so furious. And then with Jamie and Dave, they're cute. They're cute. I think Jamie just needs to tone it down. But anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by to Girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button. Turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. And definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, Australia, Season 12, Episode 2. Wow, these two have already gone on their honeymoon. Well, Karina and Paul are sent to Vanuatu. They seem to be in a very good space. Obviously, they're trying to rekindle or trying to start something that should have started a year ago. So they are on their honeymoon. They say, they can feel the chemistry building. They haven't been physically intimate. They've shared a hug. They've shared a kiss, and that's all they've done. They seem to be very happy, which I really love for them because, hey, who wants to go on their honeymoon and have a miserable time? You then have Groomzilla, Elliot. Elliot, I don't know why the producers brought him, unless they just wanted the drama that follows him. Because Elliot and Lauren still haven't gone on their honeymoon. He is very angry. He's very sour. And it's like, why is he sour? What did he see? What happened? Anyway, he speaks to the producers and tells them that he's not happy at all. He had specific no's on his list, and it seems one of those no's is now a reality to him, in the sense that he said he wanted someone younger, someone who wasn't career driven, and so he wanted someone probably below 30, and she is 37, and so it's like, okay, I get the picture. He wanted someone he could manipulate. That's it. That's what he's trying to tell us. Nothing else. He just wanted someone he could get to dance to his whim and do every single thing that he wanted them to do. And so the idea that he's been matched with someone who's actually got a career of her own, someone who's a bit older than him, he doesn't like this because then that takes away his authority. I think he wanted to be the power in his household. And so being married to someone younger is not it. I'm actually pleasantly surprised that he actually agreed to go on his honeymoon, which is like, wow, okay, let's see how long that lasts. So we then are introduced to a new couple. We're introduced to Katie and Tim. We did meet Katie at the hen do. Katie is the 37-year-old CEO. She's been single for 10 years, and she really has some body image issues. And I remember asking that I hope they give her someone who is patient and someone who's kind, someone with compassion and empathy. And so they've matched her with Tim, who is a 38-year-old PE teacher. He says he's a nice guy. He's always deemed a nice guy, and he's struggled to sort of find relationships. Even though he's a PE teacher, he's not one of those PE teachers that are like six-pack, everything is in check. And he says he doesn't have a type. He is open to anything. And so hopefully he will work with her because she's got body image issues, in the sense that one of her ex-boyfriends actually asked her in front of everyone to lose weight. So hopefully meeting someone who's on their health and fitness journey will help her. They make a cute couple. I can see it. I really can see it. And if they're as nice as they make out and the show doesn't sort of hinder that, I can see them actually having a success story. Okay, Mavs, I'm here available for consultation as and when you need me, because it's unacceptable. Seriously, the audacity, the matches that they're making, some of them really don't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. So you have Jamie, who's 28. She was very loud at the hen do and actually clashed with Lauren. Not really per se, but Lauren was already wound up because she said she's a bit too in your face. She works as a account manager. She's of Greek descent. Her dad wanted her to marry a Greek guy, but she wants to marry someone who's a cross between David Beckham and a criminal. So she is matched with Dave, the 36-year-old builder. And it's like, why? Make it make sense. Why? Who came up with that genius idea? Whose genius idea was it to think that these two would make an ideal couple? Because it doesn't make sense. He is very reserved. He's very sort of laid back. And I know you need someone to take you out of your shell. Don't get me wrong. I know that. But the way she comes across and the way he comes across, he's going to be frustrated. You can only take so much personality before it becomes a bit too much. The ladies were already frustrated, some of them on the hen do. So you can imagine someone having to stay with her 24/7. I might be judging her, but I don't know. Dave, on his part, is very tall. He says people sort of, make the wrong assumptions about him on first sight, but there's more to him. They are calling him a gentle giant. And he says he's more concerned about personality than he is about physical appearance, because he says looks will fade, which is the right mindset. I don't think if you sign up for Mavs, you should have a list. I think you should just say to yourself, whatever I get, it is what it is, and I'm going to roll with it. Give them a list, but don't stick to your list. And this is the problem that a lot of people make, in the sense that they stick to their list, get there, they don't get what they wanted, and then they throw a fit because they were matched with something they were not looking for. And it's like, what did you expect? This is not a supermarket. Even in a supermarket, you get rotten produce, so you can't expect perfection, I digress. First to get married is Katie and Tim. And I'm devastated. I'm lost for words. I really don't know what to say. So first off, we get Katie going wedding dress shopping. She's very nervous. She actually has a breakdown in the changing room, because she says when you get married, you should first of all have love at the center of the relationship before you choose to marry someone. And yet she is having to sort of defraud someone in order to get married to them, because they're marrying a stranger. They don't know what she looks like, and they might not like what she looks like because she's got a lot of body image issues. And it's like, oh, this guy said he doesn't care about anybody's body. He doesn't look like a proper, PE teacher would look. No offense. And so they should work. And so she is then convinced into going down the aisle. So she gets into a dress. It looks amazing. Her parents come to see her before she walks down the aisle, and they're ecstatic for her. They seem very lighthearted. They seem to be people that are evenly yoked, in the sense that they get along very well. They get each other's banter. They're really in a very good space. So they sort of hype her up before she walks down the aisle. We get to see Tim. He says that his family is not attending the wedding, but he is happy to be there and he can't wait to get married. They got married on a farm, and I don't know whether it was the parents' farm, or since the parents wanted her to get married on their farm, the producers just decided to take them to get married on a farm. He walks down the aisle. The family, Katie's family is very receptive and very, happy to see him and think he's a very nice guy. He comes across as someone who's very honest and caring, which is amazing. Then Katie sort of has another mini breakdown or almost mini breakdown in the car, because she's still very anxious. She doesn't know whether the person she sees at the end of the aisle will like what they say. And it's like, hopefully he's not superficial. He's someone who works with people, with body image issues. So, not everybody's one size. So he's going to be open-minded. Well, she walks down the aisle. He is very cordial. They say their vows, and then he pulls the producer aside and tells them that, no, this is not going to work. She's not my type. I normally go for either blonde hair or brunette, I think he says, or red hair. And he goes for petite girls. And it's like, that's what you like. But do they like you? Because if they liked you, you'd have found one of them. You would have found one of them. I personally don't get why she wasn't matched with Dave. I think Dave would have been a better partner for her. And I'm devastated for her for when she finds out that this is what this man was saying, because he's threatening to run away. He's saying, I wish I could run away. And it's like, okay, allow him to leave. allow him to leave. Don't let him say anything to her. Just say he had a family emergency and let him leave quietly, because she doesn't deserve this pain of being rejected by someone on national TV of all places. For him to have the audacity to say those things, given his job, does not make sense. This woman is more accomplished than you'll ever be. And so the idea that you would look down on her just because she doesn't look like a different shape or size. Women's bodies change, they transition because of hormones. When we get pregnant, your body changes. As we grow older, the body changes. So the idea that he thinks that she is always going to be a petite blonde, he's lying to himself. So what happens if you marry someone and then they put on weight and they, their hair changes color or their hair falls off? Is he going to divorce them? Make that make sense? Next to get married are Katie and Dave. I feel sorry for Dave. His dad is undergoing chemotherapy for the 4th time, so he couldn't be present for his son's wedding. And so Dave had to sort of FaceTime him, and he must have been in pain or he must have been asleep, because it took a while for the phone to be answered. And the dad was really ecstatic for him and he wished him all the best. And Dave kept emphasizing that he was more worried about, being matched with someone with good personality or plenty of character, just because, looks will fade, but character won't. And for me, I'm like, don't say that, because they're going to get you a clown. They really are going to go out of their way to find you someone who you can't believe that where did they find this person? And Jamie proved it, because Jamie walked down the aisle and as soon as she saw the tattoos, she was ecstatic. She was over the moon. So she was excited about the tattoos. And then she kept talking. At one point, her mom had to say, no, that's enough. And it's like, is she on the spectrum or something? It was too much, because even when she was having her makeup, she kept calling for her sister. Every 2 minutes, she was calling for her sister. You had Dave's mom there. I think she must have been side-eyeing her because she was a bit too much. She said she really liked what she saw, so that was good. So she was excited at seeing the groom, because she said, Dave was her type. The fact that he was tall, he had tattoos, he was good looking, he had great teeth. So those are things that she looks for in a partner, which is totally different to the other wedding that's going on. So that was a positive bet. And so they said their vows, which was sweet. There were some jokes in there that were maybe not appropriate for a wedding, but they seemed to be in a very good space. They seemed very happy, and they were both ecstatic to see who they'd been matched with. And for me, I don't know. As someone who's going through a challenging time, I wish the experts would be more thorough. I don't know how they can sort of be able to sieve out some of these people, because people seem to be telling them what they want to hear. We all heard the other, groom say he wasn't worried about looks, and then suddenly he's telling us he's used to petite blonde people. So I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't get exhausted. Hopefully Dave doesn't get tired of the talking, because it's maybe a bit too much. So after the ceremony, you have Jamie and Dave taking pictures, and Jamie is talking this man's ear off 100 miles an hour. She's asking every single question that ever came to her that she wanted to ask. And it's like, this is not the time. Please don't scare this man. He looks like he's a great guy. He doesn't need to be scared of you. The way you keep asking 200 questions, maybe take a moment, get a question in, take a moment to digest what is asked you, and then move on and wait for him to ask you something before you ask him the next question. I don't know whether it was the edit or whether it was just the way she was talking. It was way too much. It was 200 miles an hour. And actually, I'm surprised that, he wasn't put off. They go for their reception. Their parents are excited. Well, you had his mom and I think her mom sort of having a conversation ecstatically, saying, oh, they look cute. They looks like there's chemistry there. They look like a great match. And it's like, it's good if they're getting along, but you have to understand there's going to be production, there's going to be filming. So as much as they look amazing, things might not always work out, because production is going to come in with their mess and things are going to go left. They spoke at the table. Jamie kept asking questions, and then it became time for the speech, and Dave stood up and gave a speech about his dad and saying that, his dad is not able to be there. His dad and his stepmom are not there because his dad is not feeling well. He's going to through chemotherapy. And I love the fact that at that moment, Jamie was able to contain herself and sort of silence herself and be there for her partner. So if she can do a lot of this reining in whatever spiral she goes down when her husband needs her, that's going to be amazing. And I think he really appreciated that. He spoke to her parents and told them that he would try his best to be, well, he would be the man that his dad raised him to be. He spoke to her, told her that he would be the man, she wanted. And so that was really cute. Their dancing was amazing. They did talk about his dog, and she wasn't sure about the dog. And it's like, don't get divorced just because of a dog. There's more to life than the dog. So the two of you can overcome the issues you have with the dog and you'll be good. So they seemed very happy. And you actually had, Jamie calm herself and actually speak about how caring he came across, how genuine he came across. And so I hope she appreciates that and she's able to make the most of it, and they will be happy as a couple. Am I the only one who's getting Casper and Emma vibes from Elliot and Lauren? Am I the only one? And I'm going to say this. Production is very wrong for allowing this man to continue with this marriage or with this charade. Production is very wrong for allowing her to continue to sort of make these confessionals about her worries in regards, her insecurities, and leave her there blindly yapping along without even sort of pulling her aside to tell her that this man is not into you. They took pictures and he was orcs galore. He had his hands behind his back. He had his hands in his pockets. Anything to stop him from touching her. And it's like, I don't get it. You get these average looking guys coming in and having these expectations of these blonde hair, petite girls that they couldn't get for themselves in the real world. And yet suddenly, magically, Mavs is supposed to find them the person that will accept them for what they look like. It doesn't make sense, because if you look at Casper, if you look at Elliot, they're the same person, different font. They're the same person. So the audacity to call out this girl and say, oh, she's not my type, she's not this, that, and the other. You've been in the real world. Why haven't you found your type? You work at a school. You're bound to see plenty of people picking up and dropping children that are your type. Why can't you speak to those ladies and ask them out? Because you know that they won't accept you. And yet you expect Mavs to suddenly magically find you a person that will like you for you. Make that make sense? And I don't get why he's back in the experiment. He should have just packed his stuff and gone. He comes in, when they announce the bride and the groom, he keeps his hands to himself. He gets to the table while they're eating. His friends are sort of implying that, they sort of questioned whether you'd be attracted to his wife. And he says, you were right on that. He ran away from the table because she was asking him, are you okay? Are you okay? Because he kept recoiling. And then he ran to speak to the family members, and it's like, you're not married to the family members. Even if you escape her now, what do you think is going to happen on the honeymoon? What do you think is going to happen when you move into the apartments? Are you still going to continue to run away from her? They cut their wedding cake. She asked him for a kiss on the cheek, not on the lips, and he refused. And it's like, this man, why is he here? Somebody needs to give him a mirror. Why is he here? His suit barely fits. I try not to criticize people about their body image and whatever. His suit barely fits. He can't even do the buttons up. And yet he has the audacity to sit there and be criticizing this woman. This woman is more accomplished than he is. She's more... I get so angry. I get so furious and so upset when I see people who behave in this manner. After the reception, she sort of pulled him. Well, I don't know whether the reception was over. She pulled him aside and sort of had a conversation with him to sort of say, what was your impression when you first saw me? And he wouldn't give an answer. And she said, well, because I have an insecurity of being rejected. So I felt like, you really didn't like me and I wasn't your type and stuff. And he's just smirking. And it's like, tell her the truth. Tell her the truth. If you don't like her, if you had the audacity to go and moan and groan to the experts, what do you think was going to happen? Do you think just because you walked away, they were not going to record it? How do you think she'll feel when she sees it? Because you've made her look like an idiot by keeping quiet and just nodding your head as though, you're innocent and you're in for the ride. And yet you know for a fact that you're not interested in this girl. You'll do anything to jump ship. I really don't like it. I really, really don't like the way this man has behaved. And I'm very disappointed because I felt like someone who works with children would be more compassionate, empathetic, and understanding. So the audacity for him not to display those qualities, but to behave the way he's behaved has really upset me and has really put me off. So the morning after the wedding, you have Jamie and Dave. They find out they're going to Wichita Sundays. I don't know what that is. I have to Google that up. And there's ecstatic. They had a very good night. They said they weren't physically intimate, but Jamie's promising that it's going to be amazing when it happens. And it's like, Jamie, TMI, TMI. But they really seem to be doing very well. I really love them as a couple. I just wanted to just tone it down a bit until he's familiar with her, and then she can do whatever she wants as long as he's comfortable. But I think she needs to tone it down a bit. Anyway, they are happy that they're going on their honeymoon, so everything is good and they're packing up to go. With Lauren and Elliot, Lauren is tearful on camera. She says, he called her out at night. So he waited until the cameras had gone so that it would be a he said, she said. And he revealed to her that he wasn't attracted to her. Knowing that this is something that she's very sensitive about, I don't know why he decided to do it off camera. So he must have said something else that really broke her, because she's devastated. She's really devastated because she was enjoying herself and she didn't realize that this is the turmoil he was going through. So he comes out with a cap on, all red-faced. I don't know whether he had been crying or whether he was trying to he was embarrassed. Something was going on there. And he's sort of trying to make light of it. The audacity to say, oh, let's read where we're going for the honeymoon. I think she should have just pulled the plug. She can afford, she's a CEO. She should be able to afford to take herself on holiday. She should have pulled the plug and said, I'm done. I don't want to go. I really am not with this, and stopped with this charade, because she said it's pointless for me trying to put in any effort if he's already shut me down and he's written me off. So the audacity for the two of them to want to go on the honeymoon doesn't make sense, unless they're just doing it just because they want a holiday. It doesn't make sense why they're going on this honeymoon, because they both know they're not attracted. They both know there's nothing there. So they might as well pack it up and go back home, and hopefully they'll find their person in the real world. They shouldn't even wait for the commitment ceremony. This is dead on arrival, so they need to pack it up. It's really sad. I really feel sorry for Lauren, because she really wanted this, and sadly she's been saddled with this man who's not into it. Hey, it is what it is. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 1. Bye guys.